Always very special to be here. This visit has been extra special because it's probably the time that I've had a chance to meet the most people since I've been here. Yesterday we had very good meetings with the Prime Minister, the President, met with business leaders, met with development partners, multilateral partners, other ambassadors. And today we announced additional funding of $14.9 million, the majority of which will be going to post-earthquake redevelopment efforts on top of what we have already committed here for a total of $51.7 million. A part of that goes to the World Bank for its Rural Housing Development Fund. A portion of that goes to a number of long-standing development partners that Canada has here. We also announced a couple of $100,000 in additional funding to UNHCR for some of the excellent work that they're doing with respect to refugees. And that's just a small contribution. Over the last multiple years, we've had $120 million in development funding in various forms. We continue to be one of the biggest donors or funders in the UN system, significant in the World Bank system, the Asian Development Bank. We also have with us the Regional Director for IDRC, International Development Research Center, which is a Canadian Crown Corporation. Dr. Anindya Chatterjee, who is here based in Delhi, runs Asia. We have 14 projects active in Nepal right now to the tune of about $14 million. And if you take all of this, our presence here has been significant through different initiatives and through different friends and partners. And it's those partners and friends that make this relationship what it is, and we're very honored to be able to celebrate that with you. In addition to that, we spent a fair bit of time on this trip looking at what's happening in Nepal, looking at trade and investment efforts to liberalize, develop policies and capacity building, and looking at areas where we could in fact make a mark, whether it's hydroelectricity, whether it's aviation, infrastructure, whatever it might be. We're also looking at how we can take stock of emerging development priorities and other initiatives here, including the transition, the successful transition to democracy, which we're seeing through elections that took place from a municipal perspective, the promulgation of the Constitution, and others. And that's a lot that's happened in recent years, but our relationship between Canada and Nepal goes back about 50 years or so. But the last few years have been very, very instrumental, a lot of significant change. But there remains a lot of opportunity for more change, a lot of challenges remain, and Canada wants to be there right with you in Nepal to really help see through the momentum of change that's happening here right now. And you'll see me making more visits, not so long, but I believe that short visits, but on a more frequent basis, are better than long visits on a less frequent basis. So let this be the beginning of a long-standing relationship with all of you, for those that I've met for the first time on this trip. Let me also say that over the past 150 years, Canada prides itself on diversity, inclusiveness, leveraging diversity as an asset, its multicultural fabric. And those from Nepal that have settled in Canada, the diaspora community, have played a very important role in helping shape what Canada is today. And those numbers increase. We have an increase in students from Nepal studying in Canada, those that are settling there, and many of those individuals are coming back, including some of those that I've met here tonight. And the reality is, I'm not the only ambassador for the Canada-Nepal relationship. All of those individuals and many of you are ambassadors just as much as I am, and we want to make sure that you know that we value your contributions, the work that you're doing, and we will continue to support. And a number of our partners that we've met over the last 2 days, I've asked everyone, what can we do to help you? And if you need anything from us, we're here for you. And so that's the spirit in which we're celebrating Canada's 150th anniversary here in Nepal. Let me just add a couple of more comments, and I'll close off on a quick personal note. Our government announced its focus on women and girls. Gender-related issues are a top priority for Canada. This is an area that we are championing here. Our international assistance policy, which was announced a couple of months ago, we refer to as a feminist international assistance policy. And I'm very, very proud to be Canada's head feminist in Nepal right now. And I wear that very proudly on my sleeve. So this is an area that we'll be doing a lot more on down the road as well. In addition to that, from a multilateral perspective, Canada's announced its candidacy for the UN Security Council seat where the elections would take place in 2019, and we're looking for Nepal's support in that regard, and we certainly look forward to advancing the relationship on multilateral initiatives as well. And then finally, on environment and climate change, it's another area that Canada is playing a leadership role around the world, and it's important here in Nepal as well, particularly as it relates to mountainous regions as well. And so this is an area where a number of our organizations are active, and you'll see us playing quite a bit more of an active role in this area as well. And so those are a few highlights of where we're going in terms of